Hey y'all, welcome to my YouTube channel, Divinely Unveiled. I chose that name because I have been through a lot in my life. Things that I feel like would normally take a person out, and I have been able to overcome it. But a lot of the things that I went through was because I did not know my worth. I did not know my identity through God. And now I feel like, the divine in me is unveiled. And so that's the reason why I started this YouTube channel, is to really just document my journey of really walking in my identity through God. And so I just wanted to give y'all a little introduction about me, who I am. My name is Aisha, AP, whatever you want to call me. I am a single mother of 7 children. Out of the 7 children that I have, only 2 of my children have the same father. So that is a journey in itself to speak on, and I will be speaking about that. I know a lot of people judge me for that, rightfully so, I guess, but there's a lot that I have to say about that, what that has taught me, the things that I've went through because of that. And I'm just going to be, this is like a form of therapy for me. And hopefully it'll help other people be able to speak about the challenges that they face in similar circumstances. But for my introduction, I just want to give a little bit of my background as to how I came to this point in my spiritual journey, I guess you can say. So back in 2014 or 2015, I met the father of my 2 children, who have the same father. Head over heels, I was like so addicted, so drawn to this man. It was like nothing that he can do to make me leave him alone. And he did not treat me well at all. Like, when I say all the disrespect, the dealing with other women, the denying, neglecting my children, I experienced a lot of that. And I'm not going to say that I was perfect, but what I can say is I never initiated or given him or any other man a reason to treat me bad. So being in that situation for a couple of years, ended up conceiving my son shortly after I really met this man. Conceiving our second son not even a year later. Very short time frame. Again, I couldn't leave this man alone. It took a lot to break that soul tie, no matter how bad I was treated. But I got to a point where, after all the physical altercations, after all the dealing with different women, confronting other women, me being an emotional woman and going through those things, it was just, after I had my second son, I got to the point where I was like tired, spiritually tired, emotionally tired. I was done. I was looking at my life, and I got 4 children at this time. I don't have a lot of support. It's a lot of odds that are stacked against me. It's a lot of stereotypes that I fed into now because of my lack of self-love, lack of self-esteem, thinking that what I was getting was love, or was going to eventually turn into love. And I was just tired. Like, the devil really had a hold of me. And so I was ready to end my life. So I was in my 20s at the time. I had wrote my letter to my kids. I had planned out how I was going to do it. My daddy, I was living with my father at the time. He had a garage. I knew what time everybody left to go to work. I would take my kids to the bus stop. Where were my little children? I don't know. I think they were maybe in daycare or something. I don't know. But either way, I know that the house was going to be empty by a certain time. And I had written down a letter to my kids, letting them know that I love them. I apologize. I feel like they deserve a better mother, a better life than I can give them. And I just, let them know that I was sorry for this, and I hope that they can get over it as they get older. My daddy had a garage, and I had looked up how long it'll take for somebody to pass away if they were to run a car in a garage, and everything with the how you can die from the poisoning of the engine or whatever. So I looked that up, did my research. It probably wasn't even gonna work the way I thought it was gonna work, knowing how God is. But that was my idea. So I was waiting for everybody to leave. I'm like, by the time they leave, if I do it right at this time, by the time they get home, I should be already gone. So I had it all planned out in my head, not knowing that God has a plan, baby. Your life is not yours. But I had it in my head, and I'm like, okay, here it go. So the time came, and y'all, when I say it's like something took over my body and I just fell to the floor. Fetal position, boo-hoo, crying. Could not stop crying. Like a baby crying. And so laid there crying for a while, and something just told me, right, I am a writer. I do have a published book on Amazon, by the way, Queen Status, Find Your Divine. I love to write, and something told me write. So I got a piece of paper and I wrote. I wrote to God, like, if you real, I really need you to show yourself to me. I need you to reveal yourself to me, because I don't feel like I have support. I don't feel like there's a God. If I'm going through all this stuff, the way this man been treating me, the way I don't feel supported, I don't feel loved. Me and my daddy was going through a rough time at the time. I just don't feel like, I don't feel like there is a God. If you are real, I need you to show me something, and I need you to show me something quick. And so after I wrote, I burned the paper. Something told me to burn the paper. I burned the paper. And the paper burnt down to just one word, a little small piece of paper. And on that paper, that small piece of paper, the only word that was there was self. So I took that as God is saying, I'm already in you. Like, go within to find me. I'm within you. It's you. You're the answer to all this. I mean, because what are the odds that that's the word that the whole paper burns down to itself? So at that point, I'm like, okay, I can do this. It's something within me. Maybe all the things that I'm experiencing is because it's something that I need to change within me. So I go to church. I have a old friend of mine that I went to school with. Her dad is a pastor at a church. So I'm like, okay, maybe I need to get back into church. Maybe I need to, reestablish my relationship with God, because I wasn't going to church, wasn't reading the Bible, none of that. I had no true knowledge of the word and, what the word says, my self-worth is, how to be, a righteous woman, a Proverbs 31 woman. None of that was ever instilled in me. So again, this is like 2017, I think. Yeah, I think it's like 2017. So I go to church with her because she's having something. She invited me to church. She was speaking at the church. Go to church. After church is over, I had my 2 kids with me, and she wants to, and this was a little time after. This was a little ways after I did the whole burning thing. But anyway, I go to church, watch her speak, and she wanted to introduce me to her daddy, who was the pastor of the church. And so I got my 2 kids with me, and I go up to him. She introduced us, and he looks at me like, it's like I could see the disgust look on his face. And it's not, how you doing? My name is, what's your name is, how many more you got? I kid you not. That's the first thing he said to me was, how many more you got? So it was that moment, that will always be the defining moment that led me to saying, forget going to church, forget all this Christian stuff, I'm done with that. Because I had already been used to people judging me for having kids, having as many kids as I did as young as I was, and having children by different men, my kids not having the same father. So I was already used to that. And to go to church after I had been praying so hard for some type of proof that God is real, trying to get connected to God, and then I go in God's house and that's the energy that I met with. And I never really addressed it. I never addressed it to my friend. We were friends on social media, and I did kind of talk about it on social media after some time had passed, and I think she did. I know she saw it, and I want to say that one of the posts that she made about it was basically saying, you got to ask yourself, is that what somebody meant, or is that how you felt? But I wasn't going for that, because it's the look on your face, how you, I can read energy very well, and I didn't feel invited. I didn't feel, like I was accepted. And for that to be the first thing that you say to me, and you look at me up and down, I took it as I took it. Maybe he didn't mean it that way, but yes, that is how I felt. That is how I felt. So that was that. But that was the isolated incident that made me kind of stray away from the church and all that. And I remember being in my apartment. Fast forward, I'm in my apartment, and I come across a tarot app that gives you your horoscope for the day or whatever, and I started dabbling in that. And the thing is true, like everything that it's saying, it resonates with me and everything. I met an old friend that I had used to talk to. Well, I can't even say I used to talk to him. He used to always try to talk to me, God rest his soul. And I used to treat him so bad. I used to walk past him every single day for years. He would always try to get my attention. I would look at him and just keep on going. But he would never give up on trying to talk to me. Stay with me. I promise you it all comes together. But back to the tarot. I was getting my horoscopes, and it was a tarot card app, and I started pulling cards for myself, and then it just led to me doing readings for people on Facebook, and I started making so much money from doing them readings. And then I reconnected with this man that I was talking about, the friend who used to always try to talk to me. Now, I had never been attracted to him at all, but after that, I think when I met him, once I actually gave him the time of day and we started talking, he was talking about the law of attraction. And that's what I had literally been into. I had started getting into the law of attraction. And I was like, you know what? This is what it is. All this church stuff, no. Law of attraction. I can manifest my own destiny. I can manifest what I want to manifest. And I was manifesting the hell out of some money, a lot of things. The apartment that I was living in, I'm talking about, I'm going months and months without paying no rent, and the people just letting me get by, letting me live there rent free, not paying no rent, making the money on the tarot apps, but it's like the money coming and going, and I don't even know where it's going. So that's happening, and I'm into the tarot. I started doing the readings, making money, and I get into Ifa, the Yoruba religion. I get into that. That came about through an old friend that I had connected with, and that's what he was on. And I ended up going to sleep one night, and I had a vivid dream of the word or the name Obatala in my dream. So I'm like, okay, I'm being called to this deity. This is it. This is God showing me, no, the church is not it for you. This is where you're supposed to be. That's how I'm taking it. I see Obatala in my dream. So I started doing my research, and I'm like, Obatala is supposed to be the Yoruba deity that is equivalent to Jesus. And I'm like, okay, this is it for me. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is it. So God is revealing himself to me, as that's what I thought. And so I get into the other deities, and I make an offering to Oshun. I sit at my table, and I dim my lights, and I get my oranges, and I drizzle them with honey, and I write out what I want. So, I'm talking about the life that I want to live. I want the man, the dream man that I want to come into my life. I had all boys at the time. I wanted another child. I wanted a daughter, but of course I wanted the money to be able to provide for my family. I'm talking about the money coming in. People booking readings left and right with me, left and right. So I'm feeling like, okay, I got it now. I'm good now. Church where? Church who? So my friend who introduced me to Ifa told me that he had a friend that lived where his mom lived, and he does music, and he wanted us to meet. So I'm like, okay, cool, because I was doing music at the time. We meet, instant attraction. I'm talking about instant attraction. We are initially link up on a music tip, but then me, my old friend, and his neighbor basically ended up going to this, I think it was a spoken word thing. And we watched people perform or whatever, and then we went back to my friend's house, and from that night on we were inseparable. But also from that night on, I ended up finding out that I was pregnant. So yes, your girl I wasn't as guarded with my body as I should have been. Yes, that is my truth. I wasn't. All you had to do was make me feel a certain way, and I wanted that connection. If we was vibing like that, that's what it was. And then I found out I was pregnant. Shortly after that, found out I was pregnant. So the two friends ended up not being friends, because the old friend had a crush on me, but felt some type of way because I actually gave the time of day to the neighbor friend, because I was attracted to him. Our chemistry was insane. Like, our chemistry was he was so sweet, so much of a provider. Like, he overheard me telling my son, I don't know what we're gonna eat tonight. And in my mind, I'm just thinking, I don't know what I'm gonna cook when we get home. But he heard that, and he thought that we needed help with something to eat. So he went and started buying food, ended up coming into my house trying to pay bills. Like, he was a provider, and that's what made me like fall in love with him so quick, and ended up getting pregnant. So found out, we went to do laundry. I took a pregnancy test at the laundromat. The pregnancy test comes back positive. And on our way home, or once we got home, I'm doing the laundry, and I find a little girl onesie in the laundry. Mind you, when I made the offering to Oshun, I asked for a man that was creative, a man that was a provider, a man that was going to give me my first daughter. Ended up finding out that I was pregnant with my daughter, and you couldn't tell me nothing. I got it on lock now. I'm manifesting my dreams now. All this stuff is coming true, or so I thought. So if this message or if this video is piquing your interest at all and you would like to get to know more about my spiritual journey, if this is anything that might have sound similar to something that you've experienced in your past with EFI, with law of attraction or whatever, or you just went on a similar journey after experiencing the church or whatever, subscribe to my channel. I will be making more videos, more content, and sharing more of my story with y'all. But that's all I have for now. I will talk to y'all later. Love y'all. Talk to y'all later. Bye.